Learn and grow your thinking. Social Studies. Primary School Living Examination 7. We should follow the following steps for great results. Roman figure number 1. Read the question or problem. Roman figure number 2. Find the solutions to the question or problem. Roman figure number 3. Circle the letter of the correct answer for all the questions. 1. Which of the following Tswana ethnic groups originates from the motherlands of Africa, Namibia? A. Balati. B. Baherero. C. Badawana. D. Bakalanga. The answer is B. Baherero. Reason being, the Baherero migrated from Namibia into Botswana and are originally from that region. Use the picture below to answer question 2. 2. Which two elements of culture are shown in the picture? A. Dress and food. B. Dress and technology. C. Entertainment and language. D. Technology and entertainment. The answer is B. Dress and technology. Reason being, dress. Shaka Zulu is shown wearing traditional Zulu attire, which is a cultural element. Technology. The weapons, such as the assegai, spear and shield, represent traditional military technology used by the Zulu people. 3. What is the importance of culture? A. It encourages the youth to promote Christianity. B. It helps the youth to learn how to read and write. C. It helps the youth in deciding on the abolition of Bojel and Bagwera. D. It encourages the youth to learn about norms and values of their society. The answer is D. It encourages the youth to learn about norms and values of their society. Reason being, culture passes on traditions, beliefs, and values to younger generations. 4. A religious marriage is described as marriage. A. Administered by a priest. B. Administered by relatives. C. Carried out according to traditional law. D. Carried out according to government rules. The answer is A. Administered by a priest. Reason being, religious marriages are conducted according to faith traditions and led by religious leaders like priests or pastors. 5. Which of the following is one of the causes of divorce? A. Faithfulness. B. Adultery. C. Adoption. D. Peace. The answer is B. Adultery. Reason being, infidelity is a common reason for divorce in many marriages. 6. How can a family deal with the effects of divorce? A. By refusing to go to church. B. By separating as family members. C. By attending counseling sessions. D. By staying away from family gatherings. The answer is C. By attending counseling sessions. Reason being, counseling helps family members cope with emotional and social impacts of divorce. 7. Why is the family important to a person living with HIV/AIDS? A. It protects the HIV/AIDS status of the person. B. It offers the person professional counseling. C. It offers love and support to the person. D. It takes over the person's family duties. The answer is C. It offers love and support to the person. Reason being, emotional and physical support from family helps improve the well-being of people living with HIV/AIDS. 8. Which of the following examples shows the impact of cultural change in the motherlands of Africa, Botswana? A. Girls becoming juvenile delinquents. B. Boys taking care of their sisters. C. Boys singing traditional songs. D. Girls wearing cultural dress. The answer is A. Girls becoming juvenile delinquents. Reason being, this reflects a shift from traditional norms and may result from losing cultural guidance. 9. Which of the following factors would cause xenophobia? A. Competition for resources. B. Cooperation of different people. C. Sharing of good ideas for development. D. Showing love and support for one another. The answer is A. Competition for resources. Reason being, when locals feel foreigners are taking jobs or resources, it can lead to fear and hatred, xenophobia. 10. Which of the following departments is responsible for elections in the motherlands of Africa, Botswana? A. Directorate of Economic Crime and Corruption. B. Independent Electoral Commission. C. The Motherlands of Africa, Botswana Police Service. D. Ombudsman. The answer is B. Independent Electoral Commission. Reason being, the IEC manages and oversees elections in Botswana. 11. What is a by-election? A. An election held in a constituency to replace someone who resigned or died. B. An act of leading people in managing of public affairs and resources. C. A process of voting for a newly developed law. D. Dishonest behavior by those in power. The answer is A by-election is an election held to fill a political office that has become vacant between general elections. Reason being, it usually happens when a sitting member resigns, passes away, or is otherwise unable to continue in office. 12. What does the bull's head in the motherlands of Africa, Botswana coat of arms represent? A. Wildlife. B. Industry. C. Arable farming. D. Cattle farming. The answer is D. Cattle farming. Reason being, the bull's head symbolizes the importance of cattle farming in Botswana's economy and traditional life. The graphs below show annual rainfall and temperature for Town X in South Africa. Use them to answer questions 13 to 18. 13. Which month received the highest rainfall? A. May. B. June. C. July. D. August. The answer is C. July. Reason being, from the bar graph, July has the highest rainfall. 14. What is the general relationship between rainfall and temperature in Town X throughout the year? A. Coldest months have high rainfall. B. Hottest months have high rainfall. C. Coldest months have low rainfall. D. Hottest months are dry. The answer is C. Coldest months have low rainfall. Reason being, as temperature drops June-July, rainfall increases slightly but remains generally lower than in warmer months. So overall, coldest months, like June, have low rainfall. 15. What kind of clothes should someone visiting Town X in June pack? A. Head scarves. B. Waterproof mini dresses. C. Waterproof warm clothes. D. Big hats for sun protection. Check mark. The answer is C. Waterproof warm clothes. Reason being, June is winter in the southern hemisphere, where Town X is located, likely in South Africa. It's typically cold and may be wet in coastal areas. Therefore, warm and waterproof clothes are appropriate to stay warm and dry. 16. Which of the following towns is likely to be X? A. Durban. B. Cape Town. C. Port Elizabeth. D. Johannesburg. The answer is B. Cape Town. Reason being, Cape Town experiences winter rainfall, unlike most parts of southern Africa. In June, it is cold and wet, matching the climate described for Town X. 17. How has rainfall and temperature in Town X influenced the vegetation? A. It is evergreen. B. It has thorny leaves. C. It has branches that form a canopy. D. It has waxy leaves to reduce transpiration. The answer is D. It has waxy leaves to reduce transpiration. Reason being, in a Mediterranean climate like Cape Town's, plants adapt by developing waxy leaves to reduce water loss, especially during dry, hot summers. 18. Which type of trees is likely to be found in Town X? A. Oak. B. Pine. C. Cactus. D. Thorn bushes. The answer is B. Pine. Reason being, pine trees are evergreen conifers that grow well in cool, moist environments like Cape Town. They are common in plantation forests in the Western Cape. 19. In the motherlands of Africa, Botswana, a person who is regarded as a citizen by birth is someone who A. Is born in the land by foreign parents. B. Is born in the land by Botswana parents. C. Has stayed in the land for more than 10 years. D. Is born outside the land by Botswana parents. The answer is B. A person born in the land by Botswana parents. Reason being, according to Botswana's Citizenship Act, a person is a citizen by birth if born in Botswana to at least one Botswana parent. The steps below are carried out during voting in the motherlands of Africa, Botswana. Use them to answer question 20. I. The voter secretly marks the ballot paper. E. The presiding officer gives the voter a ballot paper. E. The voter enters the voting office. IV. The voter puts the ballot paper into a ballot box. 20. Which of the following represents the correct order of the steps to be followed during voting? A. EIEIV. B. IEEIV. C. EEIIV. D. EEIIV. The answer is D. E. I. IV. Reason being, E. Voter enters voting office. E. Receives ballot paper. I. Marks ballot paper in secret. IV. Drops it in ballot box. This is the logical and secure voting process to ensure secrecy and transparency. 21. Which of the following agencies is responsible for taking care of displaced people around the world? A. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. B. United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. C. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. D. United Nations Development Program? The answer is C. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR. Reason being, UNHCR is responsible for protecting and supporting refugees and displaced persons worldwide, providing shelter, food, and legal support. 22. How does mining benefit the government of the motherlands of Africa, Botswana? A. It brings in foreign exchange. B. It helps to reduce crime in mining towns. C. Its profit is used to buy food for the locals. D. It allows for the employees to be trained on mining skills. The answer is A. It brings in foreign exchange. Reason being, Botswana exports diamonds and minerals, earning foreign currency, which is used for national development like schools, roads, and healthcare. 23. How does the motherlands of Africa, Botswana benefit from being a member of SACU? A. By learning how to utilize her resources well. B. By receiving free health care for her people from member states. C. By engaging regional soldiers to maintain stability in her country. D. By using neighboring member states' ports for her trade with Europe. The answer is D. By using neighboring member states' ports for her trade with Europe. Reason being, Botswana is landlocked and does not have a coastline. As a member of SACU, Southern African Customs Union, it benefits from free trade arrangements and access to ports in member countries like South Africa and Namibia. These ports are vital for importing and exporting goods, including trade with overseas markets like Europe. 24. How can the impact of pollution from sources of energy be reduced? A. By increasing industries. B. By encouraging the mining of coal. C. By reducing the emission of greenhouse gases. D. By using non-renewable sources of energy like coal only. The answer is C. By reducing the emission of greenhouse gases. Reason being, greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide from burning coal and oil are the main contributors to air pollution and climate change. Reducing these emissions, by using clean energy sources like solar, wind, or hydro, helps protect the environment. Increasing industries or using coal only would increase pollution. 25. Which of the following organizations protects human rights in the motherlands of Africa, Botswana? A. Kalahari Conservation Society. B. United Democratic Party. C. Ditchwanelo. D. Metlatsile. The answer is C. Ditchwanelo. Reason being, Ditchwanelo, the Botswana Center for Human Rights is a local non-governmental organization that advocates for and protects human rights in Botswana. It works on issues like justice, equality, protection against abuse, and access to legal support for vulnerable groups. Study the diagram of a weather instrument below and answer questions 26 to 28. 26. What is the name of the weather instrument shown? A. Maximum and minimum thermometer. B. Wet and dry bulb thermometer. C. Rain gauge. D. Wind vane. The answer is A. Maximum and minimum thermometer. Reason being, this instrument has two thermometers in a U shape, used to measure the highest and lowest temperatures in a day. It's commonly called the Sixa thermometer. 27. Which element of weather is measured using the instrument? A. Rainfall. B. Wind speed. C. Air pressure. D. Temperature. The answer is D. Temperature. Reason being, the maximum and minimum thermometer records the temperature range for a given period. 28. What unit of measure does the instrument use? A. Millibars. B. Millimeters. C. Degrees Celsius. D. Kilometers per hour. The answer is C. Degrees Celsius. Reason being, temperature is measured in degrees Celsius, degrees C, in most countries, including Botswana. 29. In which region in the motherlands of Africa, Botswana is water commonly used as a mode of transport? A. Northwest region. B. Southeast region. C. Southern region. D. Kalahari region. The answer is A. Northwest region. Reason being, the Okavango Delta in the northwest is known for water transport, using canoes, makoro, and boats. 30. What is subsistence arable farming? A. Planting of crops in rows. B. Growing of crops for sale. C. Watering of crops through sprinkler. D. Growing of crops for family consumption. The answer is D. Growing of crops for family consumption. Reason being, subsistence farming is done to feed the farmer's family, not for selling. Arable means growing crops. 31. How does arable farming differ from pastoral farming? A. Arable farming is the growing of crops while pastoral farming is the rearing of animals. B. Arable farming is the rearing of animals while pastoral farming is the growing of crops. C. Arable farming is the watering of crops while pastoral farming is the rearing of chickens. D. Arable farming is the mixing of crops in one field while pastoral farming is the fattening of animals. The answer is A. Arable farming is the growing of crops while pastoral farming is the rearing of animals. Reason being, this is the basic difference between the two main types of farming. 32. Which of the following sectors of the economy brings more income to the government of the motherlands of Africa, Botswana? A. Construction. B. Agriculture. C. Education. D. Mining. The answer is D. Mining. Reason being, mining, especially of diamonds, is the largest source of income for Botswana. 33. What is sustainable exploitation of resources? A. Wise use of resources so that they are still available in the future. B. Maximum use of resources to improve the economy. C. The cutting of trees to clear land for farming. D. The use of resources to improve tourism. The answer is A. Wise use of resources so that they are still available in the future. Reason being, sustainability means using resources without depleting them, ensuring future generations can also benefit. 34. How does the government of the motherlands of Africa, Botswana, help businesses in the informal sector? A. By paying tax on their behalf. B. By building shelters for their businesses. C. By selling their goods outside the country. D. By providing them with transport for their goods. The answer is B. By building shelters for their businesses. Reason being, the government often provides market stalls and shelter for street vendors and small informal traders to operate in better conditions. Use the map of Japan below to answer questions 35 to 39. 35. Which city is marked P? A. Moscow. B. Ottawa. C. Athens. D. Tokyo. The answer is D. Tokyo. Reason being, on the map, P is located on the eastern coast of Honshu Island. This is where Tokyo, the capital of Japan, is located. Other options like Moscow, Ottawa, and Athens are not in Japan. 36. Which ocean is marked Q? A. Indian Ocean. B. Pacific Ocean. C. Atlantic Ocean. D. South Atlantic Ocean. The answer is B. Pacific Ocean. Reason being, the east coast of Japan borders the Pacific Ocean, which is shown at location Q. The Indian, Atlantic, and South Atlantic Oceans are far from Japan. 37. What is the direction of Sapporo from Hiroshima? A. North. B. South. C. Southwest. D. Northeast. The answer is A. North. Reason being, Sapporo is located in the northern part of Japan, on Hokkaido Island, while Hiroshima is in the southwest. So the direction from Hiroshima to Sapporo is north. 38. What is the location of Japan using lines of latitude and lines of longitude? A. 127 degrees east, 146 degrees east and 31 degrees north, 46 degrees north. B. 31 degrees north, 46 degrees north, and 127 degrees east, 146 degrees east. C. 127 degrees east, 46 degrees north, and 146 degrees east, 31 degrees north. D. 146 degrees east, 127 degrees east, and 46 degrees north, 31 degrees north. The answer is B. 31 degrees north minus 46 degrees north and 127 degrees east minus 146 degrees east. Reason being, Japan lies approximately between 31 degrees north to 46 degrees north latitude and 127 degrees east to 146 degrees east longitude. 39. What would be the time in Kagoshima if it is 1000 hours in Yokohama? A. 700 hours. B. 800 hours. C. 900 hours. D. 1000 hours. The answer is D. 1000 hours. Reason being, Kagoshima and Yokohama are both in Japan Standard Time, JST, so there is no time difference. 40. Which of the following forms of governance allows for different political parties to compete during elections? A. Democracy. B. Monarchy. C. Apartheid. D. Military. The answer is A. Democracy. Reason being, in a democracy, multiple political parties contest in elections and citizens vote freely. 41. How does HIV/AIDS affect people economically? A. It increases the divorce rate. B. It turns children into orphans. C. It forces old people to stay with their grandchildren. D. It forces breadwinners to lose their jobs due to sickness. The answer is D. It forces breadwinners to lose their jobs due to sickness. Reason being, when people fall sick due to HIV/AIDS, they may be unable to work, leading to economic hardship. 42. Which of the following cultural practices encourages the spread of HIV/AIDS? A. Circumcision. B. Rain making. C. Sayandlo. D. Mafisa. The answer is C. Sayandlo. Reason being, Sayandlo involves widow inheritance, which may lead to unprotected sex and can spread HIV/AIDS. 43. Which of the following factors would force people to move from rural areas to urban areas? A. Increase of crime in villages. B. Decentralization of services. C. Better services in rural areas. D. High unemployment rate in towns. Most likely intended. The answer is D. High unemployment rate in rural areas. Reason being, people move to towns for better job opportunities, especially if unemployment is high in villages. Use the diagram of a family tree below to answer questions 44 to 46. 44. Which type of marriage is Mr. Moyo's? A. Civil marriage. B. Religious marriage. C. Polygamous marriage. D. Monogamous marriage. The answer is C. Polygamous marriage. Reason being, Mr. Moyo is married to both Bobo and Lethabo, meaning he has more than one wife. This is a polygamous marriage. 45. How many aunts does Bakong have? A. 2. B. 3. C. 4. D. 5. The answer is C. 4. Reason being, aunts are your parents' sisters or your uncle's wives. Thabong, Bakong's father, has 2 sisters, Butimelo and Neo. Right pointing arrow to aunts. Thabong's brothers are Paul and Neo, and if they are married, only Thabong is shown married. Mir, Thabong's wife, is Bakong's mother, not an aunt. So only Butimelo and Neo are sisters of the father equals 2. Also, Paul and Neo's wives are not shown. But Butimelo's and Neo's marriages are not marked, so only female siblings count. Butimelo and Neo, sisters of Bakong's father. Mir is Bakong's mother, not aunt. 46. How is Moyo related to Lopang? A. Aunt. B. Uncle. C. Grandfather. D. Grandmother. The answer is C. Grandfather. Reason being, Moyo is the father of Neo. Neo is the parent of Lopang. So, Moyo is Lopang's grandfather. 47. Which of the following is an example of a form of modern cooperation? A. Village Development Committee. B. Kalahari Conservation Society. C. Tebiopal. D. Machafo. The answer is C. Tebilopal. Reason being, Tebilopal is a modern health-based NGO focused on HIV testing and counseling, fitting as modern cooperation. 48. Which of the following documents is used to identify Botswana locally? A. Omang. B. Passport. C. Hospital card. D. Driver's license. The answer is A. Omang. Reason being, Omang is the national ID used for local identification in Botswana. 49. Which of the following forms of government is correctly matched with its characteristic? Form of government. Characteristics. A. Autocracy. Governing power is in the hands of a group of people. B. Monarchy. The government is led by the queen or a king. C. Multi-party democracy. Elections are not regular. D. One-party state. The ruling party can be voted out by the people. The answer is B. Monarchy. The government is led by the queen or a king. Reason being, a monarchy is correctly defined by hereditary rule, usually by a king or queen. 50. Which of the following is an advantage of multi-party democracy in the motherlands of Africa, Botswana? A. Minority parties stand a better chance to be represented in parliament. B. Leadership is given only to those related to the president. C. The president is elected by all the people in the country. D. People are allowed to vote leaders of their choice. The answer is D. People are allowed to vote leaders of their choice. Reason being, a multi-party democracy allows citizens to choose from multiple parties, promoting freedom of choice. 51. Why is voting an important process in forming a government? A. It gives the people an opportunity to express their political opinion. B. It gives the government an opportunity to plan for its citizens. C. It helps to bring different ethnic groups together. D. It helps a country to gain its independence. The answer is A. It gives the people an opportunity to express their political opinion. Reason being, voting is the main democratic tool for people to choose their leaders and express their will. 52. Why is population census important? A. It increases job opportunities. B. It helps in easy tracking of thieves. C. It allows for fair distribution of resources. D. It reduces the number of people migrating into a country. The answer is C. It allows for fair distribution of resources. Reason being, census data helps the government plan services and allocate resources based on population size and needs. Study the diagram of the settlement pattern shown and answer questions 53 to 55. 53. Which type of settlement is shown? A. Nucleated. B. Dispersed. C. Ordered. D. Linear. The answer is D. Linear. Reason being, the houses are arranged along a road, forming a linear pattern. 54. Which of the following pairs of types of residential areas has the same settlement pattern as the one shown? A. Town and lands. B. Village and town. C. Lands and cattle post. D. Cattle post and village. The answer is C. Lands and cattle post. Reason being, both lands and cattle posts often develop along roads or paths in a linear pattern, just like the diagram. 55. How can this type of settlement affect people socially? A. It allows for government to easily provide services like water stand pipes. B. It allows for businesses to succeed as there is easy access to market. C. It reduces the spread of diseases as people live far from each other. D. It speeds up soil erosion as people live close to each other. The answer is B. It allows for businesses to succeed as there is easy access to market. Reason being, in a linear settlement, access to the road improves movement and trade, helping businesses. 56. Why did the British agree to make Bechuanaland their protectorate? A. To secure the road to the north. B. To give those in Bechuanaland power. C. To expand the Bechuanaland kingdom. D. To increase market for products from Bechuanaland. The answer is A. To secure the road to the north. Reason being, the British wanted to protect trade and travel routes to the north, especially from rival powers like the Germans and Boers. 57. How did the British protection benefit Botswana? A. It led to the expansion of the Tswana Kingdom. B. It brought about the abolition of Bojel and Bogwera in the motherlands of Africa, Botswana. C. It brought about the separation of the motherlands of Africa, Botswana borders from those of other countries. D. It made it possible for the motherlands of Africa, Botswana to be rescued from the British South Africa Company. The answer is D. It made it possible for Botswana to be rescued from the British South Africa Company. Reason being, British protection helped prevent Botswana from falling under the control of Cecil Rhodes' British South Africa Company. 58. Colonization affected the powers of the DCOC as they were A. Allowed to allocate land. B. Made to pay a tax for their people. C. Allowed to trial major cases like murder. D. Made to report to the resident magistrate. The answer is D. Made to report to the resident magistrate. Reason being, colonial rule reduced the independence of traditional leaders, making them answerable to colonial officials. Study the information below showing how different families interact with their environment. Use it to answer questions 59 and 60. Family W. Sweeps the yard every day. No trees planted. Uses traditional methods of farming. Family X. Replaces cut trees. Practices rotational grazing. Picks up litter in their home surrounding. Family Y. Cuts trees. Practices rotational grazing. Family Z. Cuts trees for firewood. Practices crop rotation. 59. Which family practices conservation of the environment? A. Family W. B. Family X. C. Family Y. D. Family Z. Answer. B. Family X. Reason being, Family X. Replaces cut trees check mark. Practices rotational grazing check mark. Picks up litter check mark. All these are good environmental conservation practices. 60. Erosion would be more visible in an area occupied by family A. W. B. X. C. Y. D. Z. The answer is A. W. Reason being, Family W doesn't plant trees and uses traditional farming methods. This leads to soil exposure and erosion.